Welcome, I'm Beth Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up. I made this spooky card with products from Stampin' Up. I sell these products and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I have the free detailed directions for this project on my website, and you'll be able to click the links for the products that you would like to be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up. You'll see where to find all of that at the end of this video, so don't worry about taking notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. I am using Festive and Bright and the Festive Finishes Dies. I have a swap to send cards to that is all about shaker cards. So I decided to combine Festive and Bright with the Cloche dies, and I wanted to make a Halloween card. So I'm using Tuxedo Black ink and Basic Gray, and I am using the Stampin' Right markers. You can use anything to color. We're just going to be coloring these hats, and you can really use anything. Crumb Cake and Basic Gray are from the Neutrals collection. The Cinnamon Cider is from the 2022 In Color Stampin' Right markers. And the Rich Razzleberry is from the Regals Stampin' Right markers. My card base is Rich Razzleberry, and you can see it is not my normal size. It is the same 5.5, but this is 6 inches. Scored at 4 1/4, leaving this 1 3/4 inch flap. I am using the Cloche shaker domes. I just need one. I've got this tiny scrap of vellum cardstock. I have a scrap of basic white, and this needs to be at least 1 by 3.5. I am using some of the matte black dots. I'm using some adhesive sheets, and I think that this is actually the old retired adhesive sheets. Use whatever you have. I think it all works the same. I have a scrap of basic black. It needs to be at least 2.5 by 3. A scrap of basic white that's at least 1 1/4 by 3.5. Some basic white that's 1 1/4 by 6. A piece of cinnamon cider that is 4 by 5 1/4. And when you cut this out, you'll probably have a 1/2 inch strip. Save that. It needs to be at least a 1/2 inch by 3. And a basic white envelope. I'm going to be using some of the black Stampin' Dimensionals, using the little mini ones, and I'll use some standard dimensionals as well. So I have already stamped the hats and brooms. I just used Memento. If you want to use StazOn, that's really the better ink to use when you're using Stampin' Right markers. But if you're not scribbling right over the ink, you should probably be fine. And you could use just one of these colors. I mixed it up a little bit. I'm just coloring in really quickly the hats. So I just colored 1, 3, and 5 in the basic gray. And then most of the hat bands are the Rich Razzleberry. I missed this hat band. Really, you can color whatever colors you want. I wanted the broom in the crumb cake, and I'm just kind of putting some color here. Not really coloring anything in particular. I'm just scribbling some color on there. And then I made the broomsticks. Then I colored the broomsticks in cinnamon cider. If you don't already have all the Stampin' Write markers, you really could just use the neutrals, the basic gray and the crumb cake, and it will be fine. We are going to be using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You could almost get away with the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, but we're going to be cutting this layer, and this piece of cardstock won't fit in the mini one. And when I got these, I just started pulling these off to check the shapes around that piece. And then I realized they actually are labeled. The one for the hats are 1A and 1B, and they have a little triangle to show which side is up. It took me a while to figure that out. I'm also going to grab the label and the ghost while I'm here. And we are going to be cutting the hats out with both the 1A and the 1B. And I think you really need to do them one at a time. And I am using some retired washi tape just to make sure it stays in one place. And the arrow is going to be pointing up. And when I use washi tape, I like to put it on the outside, the part that is taping to the scraps. And roll it through. This piece of white paper is a little bit odd size because this die is actually longer than our A4 cards. They're 5.5 inches. And to make it easier to make sure that we can line these up, I went ahead and used a 6-inch long piece. So this is the 1B piece. And again, the washi tape goes toward the scrap. So that cuts out this nice little strip. And then it's just the 1A that will be cutting this edge of the card. And I liked when the bottom of the die is pretty much even with the bottom of the card, and the top of the hat is right at the top of the card. And lining it up with the edge of the cardstock. I want to make sure that the die doesn't hang over the edge of my platform. We are going to be making several passes through the Big Shot. I don't think I told you we're also going to be using the Poppy Moments dies. I wanted a spider for this card. And I looked in Evernote through my notes and I did not find a spider die. And so I just looked through all the dies looking for something that I might be able to use for spiders. And I was so excited to find this little die. This is actually a flower center for the Poppy Moments dies, but it makes a great spider. So we're going to cut out 4 of them. We're going to cut out the basic gray with the Cloche die. We're going to cut out the label from the basic white, and we're also going to cut out 1 ghost from the basic white. So we'll cover that up and run it through. We're going to use the Cloche die again. This one we want to be sure and get straight, about 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Pretty close to the edge, maybe about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. We need another spider, and I want 2 ghosts from vellum. So I'm going to fold this vellum in half. It's really easy to cut 2 layers of vellum. And rolling that through. Keep both of these pieces. We're going to use both. And now we're going to peel here. And we're going to put the cloche on here. We're going to put the cinnamon cider cloche and that strip here. And then we're going to cover it up again. And some more washi tape. I want to be sure to be cutting that cardstock with the die, and this is kind of slick. And this piece fits very nicely in that cloche, so that will not be trash. And we need another spider, of course. And I already made a 4th spider. I've actually got several spiders here waiting for me. This puts the adhesive right on our cardstock, so we don't have to worry about those tiny pieces of glue. Finally, some stamping. Going to get the basic gray and stamp our label with Spooky. And then stamp the spider in the Memento ink. And the top of the web should be at the narrowest part of the cloche. This tree, you can remove the backing. This tree fits really nicely. We can go all the way down to the bottom, and it fits really nicely into that cloche. So this is the taller tree, and it's got more branches. This tree's going to go on this side. We can go ahead and glue the strip of hats to this flap section. And I don't know if I'm being weird. I'm putting the glue on this edge because I want to be sure to have the glue close to that edge. I don't want to put glue on the parts coming out the end. And so I want glue on this side. And I had another one of those breaks courtesy of my phone overheating. So hopefully this glue is dry on both sides, which means that it won't be as easy to push it around a little bit, but hopefully it should still stick. And if I could push it around, well, I guess I can push it a little bit. Make sure that that's not too bad on the back. I want to snip this off. Again, because this was longer, it gave us the opportunity to figure out exactly where it fits. What I want to do is put the cinnamon cider here and center it, but not glue it down just yet, because I want to use that as a way to figure out exactly where this is going. We could have stamped the rich raspberry layer with our spider web, but I kind of like the gray. Totally up to you. So we're just going to fit that in like a puzzle piece. and then lift this up around it, and that will be exactly where we want it. Now I want to fill up my my shaker elements. So I'm going to put a ghost in, and I want to put 3 spiders. I want to do a little surgery on these flower centers. So I'm going to cut off 2 legs. Spiders have 8 legs, so by cutting off 2, we have 8 legs for our spider. We have 3 8-legged spiders here. I'm going to swap out my blade for my embossing blade. Now you could use the embossing, and you could use this on Stampin' Pierce mat or a mouse pad, but I'm just kind of rolling it around here, and it makes the body kind of round. Let me show you how that works on a mouse pad. You just kind of start rolling it, and you can really get a nice round body. And here's the same move on the Stampin' Pierce mat. By the way, I'm putting the spiders down here upside down, so I'm curling on the back. And I need one more spider. Here's a close-up of one of those spiders, and I have put a matte black dot on it for its head. If you don't have the Take Your Pick tool or an embosser, look around. I have these old highlighters, and these have a nice pointed but smooth tip on it. Look around, maybe you'll find something else, maybe a ballpoint pen that doesn't work. I almost forgot about this spider, so I'm going to pull off one of my dots and put that there. And these giant spiders, go ahead and put 3 of those in there with my ghost. I do not really like the sequins, the way they are full of static. So I'm just pulling these up with some tweezers. You just really want a tiny pinch of them anyway. This is actually probably too many. Okay, without letting those shift around, I'm going to put my cloche together. And I want to snip, and I do not want to use my good Stampin' Up! Snips. I'm going to cut this corner off. I don't want to cut it too close. I do want the adhesive there, but I'm kind of straightening that out because we're pretty close to the edge here. And then go ahead and put this on your table and pull off the top layer. And so there's adhesive on both sides of this border, and we're going to set this over the top and be sure that this part up here fits. And then we're going to put adhesive, whatever adhesive you want, around the sides. Probably don't even need to put adhesive on this side because it's so close to that cloche. And pull off the backings here. Save that spider. And then when we put this on here, it really should fit in there perfectly. And that makes our little shaker. I knew I was forgetting something on the inside, and you might not really even want this, but what I did was I just took a piece of this silvery ribbon. This is a metallic mesh ribbon, and I just kind of sliced it up like that, and maybe you can almost pull it apart, but not really. And I added this on the inside of the shaker card. Of course, it's too late now, to just give a little spider web in there. I think you might be able to see the spider web in this sample. I have another vellum ghost and a white ghost. And I'm going to put a little dab of adhesive just on the bottom of that ghost. And I want them to be flying over, like maybe like so. And this allows me to glue down the vellum ghost without having the adhesive issue. So I can add a little bit more adhesive. And these guys will go here. So we'll kind of discover them when we open the card. And I probably should have used the bone folder to get a good crease here. We'll take off the backing from here and put that underneath. So it has something to set on. And then our spooky, and we'll put some dimensionals on the back of that. That goes up here. Kind of have this card closed so you can see how it's going to fit in here. I think I'll put it right there. And I'm going to switch back to my pokey tool here on the Take Your Pick. I'm putting a mini black Stampin' Dimensional right in the corner here, about 1/2 inch over or so. Take off the backing and put another one on right on top. So I've got a stack of 2. And that allows this spider to be kind of crawling out of here. Now I want this spider to be more spidery. So I'm going to grab another one of those dots and put that here for the head of that spider. So I think this is a kind of a fun shaker card. And for me, the game is to make sure the ghost is right side up. Happy Halloween! Here is the web address for this project, where you'll find the free detailed directions and links for the products I used. Just click the links and you'll be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up! Also on my website, you can click home near the top of the page to find lots of resources. Under Shop, you can find the products I offer to make crafting more convenient, how to get free products with my frequent shopper rewards, and a link to my online store at Stampin' Up! Click Inspiration to scroll all my projects back to 2011, most with detailed directions and videos. Though the products in those older projects have been retired, you may find techniques, layouts, and color combinations to inspire you today. If you're new to stamping, you might want to take a look at the basics. You'll find out how to cut card bases and layers, and what's special about Stampin' Up!, and some of my favorite tools. Under Organization, you'll find tons of free resources such as catalog tabs, labels and case inserts, color tools, and much more. You can take a tour of my craft wall. More organization means more time for crafting. Come stamp with me here in Ventura County, California, or get the best deal of all and join my team of crafters. The team is called SIP Together, and it stands for Stamps, Ink, and Paper Together. The team is made of crafters who want to save money on the products they buy, share with a few friends, or grow a business like mine. Be sure to subscribe to my website and on YouTube. Talk to you soon. Bye.